Hi everyone, it's Mary Jo Snyder from MJ's Shady Inkers, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Did you know that you can watercolor directly on your clear mount stamps? If you didn't, I'm going to teach you how to do that today, and we're going to create a card that I featured in my recent stamp camp during the summer. So I hope you enjoy this. Let's get started. I've already pulled out the stamp of the tent image as well as Happy Trails. Now I want to show you how you can do this on watercolor paper. So this is that Fluid 100 watercolor paper that we sell in Stampin' Up, and you can purchase that in my online store. So to get started, I have chosen my old olive watercolor pencil and the larger brush tip of my new watercolor water painters. Okay, so I have already cut out the second to the smallest stitched square with the watercolor paper, and I want to come in here and moisten my stamp. Now, you don't want to be too generous because it will end up being a big mess. So just add some water, gently brush that water on your stamp, come in here with your watercolor pencil and just glide that pencil gently over that image. I was so excited that I discovered this when I was planning my recent summer stamp camp, and everybody was pretty excited about the technique. Now you can see it's a little juicy right there. Right here, there's a lot of water. It's okay. When you see the image when it's done, it really is going to give it an amazing watercolor effect. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. If you did not give yourself enough water on your stamp originally, just take your water painter and go ahead and run that over your image again. I think I'm all set, so I'm just going to stamp this on here and wait for the magic to happen. How cool is that? Now just kind of push that aside and let that dry. We also want to grab our let's find the right one, Early Espresso. I'm going to use that to color my Happy Trails. Now with this one, you don't want it too moist because you want to be able to read those words. Come in here, and if you want, just go ahead and practice on your grid paper. And I have already stamped or cut out the smallest stitch nested die, and I'm gonna practice. Yes, that looks like it's gonna be perfect. Just come in here again and color that. And I may need to add a little bit more water. Just to moisten that. It looks too much. Would have been perfect. Come in again. You want to make sure that you're going to get a clear image, and that's why I'm making sure that I have this covered the way I want. You don't want to go get it too moist where it's not going to stamp the way you want it. And then go ahead and stamp that right on your stitch nested die cut piece. It didn't turn out that great. It actually looks better on my grid paper, but you get the gist. So let's go ahead and assemble our card. Set that aside. We're still letting that dry. You can go over that with your heat tool. I like to come in at times to soak up some of that ink that is kind of pooling. Just be gentle because you don't want to ruin your image. Okay, so this is a soft suede card base. It's cut at 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored at 5 1/2. I have a piece of the Old World Designer Series paper that is 2 inches by 5 1/2. I have another piece of this piece of Designer Series paper from the Old World No, In Good Taste designer series paper. I always get my words confused with that set. So that designer series paper, In Good Taste, and that piece is 2 by 5.5. And we're just going to add some seal to this. And you're going to leave about 1/8 of an inch border from the outside of the card, or from the edge of the card. And then you have a piece of this wood grain from the same designer series paper, and that is cut at 1/2 inch. Actually, I think it is 3/8 of an inch by 5.5. And that is going to go right here. Like so. Then you're going to come in and trim off any excess of the designer series paper that you may have. There's a smidge right there, so I'm just going to come in and trim that off, like so. Okay. Now, I cut out from the Forever Greenery dies, I cut out this branch. Now I'm going to come in with my multi-purpose liquid glue and just add some dots sporadically on the back side of that to get that to adhere where I want it. It's a little tricky because I didn't use those new adhesive sheets. I didn't have those on hand when I created this project. And then you want to come in and layer that on right there. So I have already done these other 2 images from the stamp set. I used Smoky Slate on this one, and I mixed Old Olive and Early Espresso on this one. So you can go ahead and do those as well. Then I need linen thread. I have about 7 inches, actually 14 inches of linen thread, and you want to fold that in half and cut it, and then you're going to tie a double bow. Hopefully. Okay, now that we have our bow all set, we are going to set that aside and start assembling the remainder of the card. So I want to place these like so. And then my sentiment, Happy Trails, will get a dimensional or 2. And that will go there. Then you're going to grab that double bow and a glue dot like so. There's our double bow. I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, fold that over, put it to the base of that little branch, and add your bow. And there is your card. And of course you'll layer a piece of Whisper White to the inside of that card so that you can write your greeting. I also created this card using the palm trees from the Seaside View stamp set and the word relax that I actually did some masking from the sentiments in that set as well. I do need to add a bow there, but we are all set. This is what our cards look like. So I hope you enjoyed this tip for watercoloring right directly on your stamps, and I hope that you try this as well. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a great day. Bye.